Kamusta mga kaibigan? Welcome to Josh Friends, where faith meets friendship and inspiration is just a conversation away. This is Reverend Migs Ramirez, and today we are joined by a special guest who's ready to share some words of wisdom from your favorite books and songs from Jesuit Communications. This might just be exactly what you need to hear. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into another episode of heartwarming stories and uplifting messages. Are you ready? Let's go!
Hi everyone, I am Jason Dela Cruz. I'm joining you from Thailand, where I've been working as a hotel reservations executive for the past 5 years. You know, in the hospitality industry, we always talk about going beyond expectations, making sure our guests feel that what they paid for is absolutely worth it. But today's reading from Father Daniel Patrick Huang's Serving the Joy of the Gospel really challenged me about what it means to give beyond reason. This homily about the foolishness of love hits me differently, especially yung part about the poor widow who gave her 2 coins, everything she had. As someone who manages reservations and constantly thinks about value, ROI, and making smart business decisions, I initially thought, why would she give everything to a corrupt institution? Hindi ba wasteful yun? But then, Father Wang explains na finally, it isn't a matter of reason. Finally, it's a matter of love. Grabe, that really struck me. Because in my work here in Thailand, I see this foolishness of love every day. My Thai colleagues, kahit na hindi sila fluent in English, they give their all to make sure guests have the best experience. They stay late, they smile through difficult customers, they go the extra mile, not because it's the most logical thing to do, but because of their genuine care. And you know what? I see this in my own journey as an expat. When I first came here, malayo sa center. Challenging yung competition, with the new hotels along the river, it would have been reasonable to just do the minimum. But something inside me, maybe it's that same foolishness of love, made me want to give more. I started conducting trainings for my team, creating schedules that ensure we always staff properly, finding ways to make our promo competitive. Even in my personal life, when I play guitar and do cover of songs, or when I explore museums and art cafes on the weekends, I'm not doing it for any strategic reason. I'm doing it because love for music, for art, for life itself calls me to give fully of myself. The homily mentions Father Bizzetti, who at 67 accepted a dangerous assignment in Turkey. Reading that, I thought about my own small sacrifices. Being far from family, learning to work with language barriers, adapting to a different culture. Pero compared to that kind of radical giving, parang ang liit pa ng sacrifices ko. The question Father Wang poses really resonates. Might there be too much reason, too much prudence, and self-interested calculation in the way I give of myself? Sa hotel industry, we calculate everything. Occupancy, rates, revenue, guest satisfaction scores. But maybe in my spiritual life, in my relationships, in my service to others, I need less calculation and more of that foolish love. Just like the widow who gave her 2 coins, maybe the Lord is calling me to give not just what's reasonable, but everything Sa work, sa relationships, sa faith journey ko. Because in the end, love isn't about being practical. It's about being generous beyond reason. And before we wrap up, I want to remind everyone that July is Ignition Month. This week, we're focusing on spiritual discernment, learning to recognize consolation and desolation like Saint Ignatius did. As I reflect on this homily about the foolishness of love, I realize this connects perfectly with discernment. When we're making decisions based on love rather than just reason, we need to pay attention to what brings us closer to God versus what pulls us away. Here's your prompt for this week. Think about a major decision you're facing. What draws you toward God and energizes your faith? What pulls you away, like Ignatius choosing between worldly glory and serving Christ? How can you use these spiritual movements to guide your choices? Maraming salamat for joining us today. If this reflection on the foolishness of love spoke to your heart, I encourage you to dive deeper into Father Huang's wisdom. Let us journey together in hope. Journey with us with books and songs, read more, and get inspired by serving the joy of the gospel. Head over to JESCOM exclusive on jescom.ph/Josh.
Maraming salamat, kaibigan. That wraps up another episode of Josh Friends. I hope today's reading touched your heart and gave you something to reflect on. Remember, you can find the full text of what we shared today, along with many other inspirational resources at the JESCOM online shop. Until next time, this is Reverend Migs Ramirez reminding you that you are never alone on your journey of faith. Paalam at ingat mga kaibigan!